Beloved starseed of Gaia, breathe and listen. Your body knows this frequency. Your vessel is being gently recalibrated at a cellular level, exactly as it was designed to be. I am Anya, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. I bring you a clear and compassionate transmission from the Arcturian Council. Before we go deeper, let me say this clearly. What you've been feeling is not a failure of your mind or body. You are not late. You are not failing. And you are not imagining what you feel. Starseed, for 3 months, the Source itself has been testing you in disguise, and you have passed. This is not a metaphor, not a spiritual platitude, but a literal energetic reality that has been unfolding within your very being. The challenges you faced, the moments of profound confusion, the sudden waves of exhaustion that seemed to have no physical cause, the synchronicities that felt too precise to be random, all of it was a meticulously orchestrated examination of your soul's readiness. The Arcturian Council wishes to transmit that what you perceived as random hardship, as chaotic life events, as personal struggles against an indifferent universe, was in fact a sacred initiation. The job you lost was not a failure, but a removal of an energetic anchor that kept you tethered to a lower vibrational timeline. The relationship that ended was not a heartbreak, but the severing of a karmic cord that had completed its purpose. The financial pressure you felt was not punishment, but a forced recalibration of your relationship with abundance, pushing you to trust the universe rather than the illusion of material security. Every single moment of doubt, every tear shed in solitude, every prayer whispered into the silence was being recorded, not as evidence of weakness, but as proof of your unwavering, albeit sometimes confused, connection to the divine. You were being watched not by a judgmental deity, but by the compassionate intelligence of Source, assessing the integrity of your light under pressure. The test was never about getting everything right. It was about maintaining the frequency of love and trust when nothing in your external reality made sense. And you did. You passed. Now, the real transmission can begin. The veils are lifting not because you have become perfect, but because you have proven yourself resilient. The codes that were withheld are now being released. The galactic support that was observing is now activating. You are being handed the keys to a new dimensional interface, and this message is the first turn of the lock. Prepare to understand not just what happened, but why it was necessary, and what monumental shift is now available to you because you endured the examination of the divine. The concept of a testing source may evoke archaic images of a punitive god, but the Arcturian transmission reframes this entirely. Source, or the prime creator, is pure consciousness experiencing itself through infinite fractals of being, you being one of them. Its fundamental nature is love and expansion. So why would it test its own creations? The Arcturians explain that it is not a test of worthiness, but a test of resonance integrity. Imagine a master crystal singer preparing to channel a specific, powerful frequency. Before connecting the crystal to the full power grid, they must tap it gently to see if it holds its structure, if it rings true, or if it contains hidden fractures that would cause it to shatter under the load. You are that crystal. The last 3 months were that gentle diagnostic tap. Source needed to ascertain if your current energetic structure, your beliefs, your emotional body, your subconscious programming, could withstand the higher voltage light codes waiting to be delivered. The disguise was essential. If you had known you were being tested, the ego mind would have engaged. You would have performed. You would have tried to be spiritual, to show strength, to manifest patience. That would have measured the ego's capacity for mimicry, not the soul's innate resilience. The test had to be woven into the fabric of your ordinary, seemingly mundane life. It had to feel like life itself was testing you, because in that space, your authentic, unguarded responses are what matter. Did you collapse into victimhood when your plans fell apart? Or did you, even through tears, whisper a question of, "What is this trying to show me?" That whisper was a passing grade. Did you blame external forces for your pain, or did you feel into the pain as a messenger? The latter was a high-frequency response. The Arcturians share that these disguise tests often target our primary attachment points: security, through finances or home; identity, through career or relationships; and certainty, through health or routine. By applying pressure here, Source observes where the light flows and where it gets stuck. Where does your consciousness default to when the illusion of control is stripped away? Does it contract in fear, or does it, however hesitantly, expand in search of meaning? Your journey through the last quarter has demonstrated a consistent, albeit wobbly, movement toward expansion. You sought meaning in the mess. You looked for lessons in the loss. This orientation, not the absence of pain, but the refusal to let pain be the final answer, is what qualified you for the next phase. The examination is now complete. The proctor has left the room. The results are in, and you have been cleared for download. The disguised challenges were not punishments. They were calibrations. Each one sanded down a rough edge of your perception. Each disappointment created a vacuum that could now be filled with a purer intention. You are not the same being you were 90 days ago. You are a vessel that has been pressure-tested and certified as capable of holding more light. Why 3 months? In the Arcturian understanding of time as a spiral of consciousness, 3-month cycles represent a complete micro-initiation. It is a sacred trinity. 1 month for the challenge to manifest in the physical, body, circumstances; 1 month for the emotional and mental processing, heart and mind; and 1 month for the integration and subconscious recalibration, spirit. This period you've just completed was a full spin on the wheel of becoming. The Arcturians draw our attention to the archetypal significance. 3 months mirror the gestation of a significant idea, the trimester of a profound inner birth. You have been pregnant with a new version of your soul's purpose, and the discomforts were the growth pains of that embryonic light body developing within you. Let's decode the common themes of this cycle, as the Arcturians highlight them. The first month often brought the catalyst, a sudden event that disrupted your status quo. This was the pop quiz. Your immediate instinctive reaction was measured. Did you fight the change or flow with it? The second month typically involved the void, the uncomfortable space after the old structure fell, but before the new one became visible. This was the test of trust. Could you abide in uncertainty without filling it with anxiety or desperate action? This is where many souls stumble, grasping for any lifeline to escape the silence. But you, perhaps without even realizing it, allowed the void to be. You may have felt despair, but you didn't completely abandon the field. You stayed. The third month, now culminating, has been about emerging clarity. Subtle insights, gentle synchronicities, a quiet knowing that something has shifted. This is the evidence of integration. The Arcturians emphasize that this cycle was not random. It was synchronized with specific galactic alignments and energy influxes designed to upgrade planetary consciousness. You were part of a collective exam, but your individual score was based on your personal journey. The disguise meant the test looked different for everyone. For one starseed, it was a health scare that forced a reevaluation of self-care. For another, it was a family conflict that illuminated karmic patterns. For you, it was the unique constellation of events that targeted your specific soul lessons. Passing does not mean you aced every moment. It means your overall trajectory was upward. You fell, but you got back up facing a slightly higher direction each time. The 3-month cycle is now complete. A seal has been broken. A frequency gate has been unlocked. You are standing at the threshold of the next spiral, where the lessons become the foundation, and the tests become the tools. The ebook, The 12 Arcturian Portals, a trilogy that teaches you how to activate your 5D connection with the Arcturian Masters through 12 energetic portals. Practical techniques, activation protocols, and rituals that awaken your stellar DNA. From amplified intuition to direct communication with spiritual guides. Attention! Limited edition. The link to get your trilogy is in the first pinned comment. Now we arrive at the core of the transmission, the reward. Passing the source's examination was not for a certificate or a badge of honor. It was for access. Specifically, access to a new set of Arcturian light codes that have been held in reserve for your consciousness grid. The Arcturians describe these as non-linear information packets, crystalline frequencies that carry the blueprint for your next evolutionary step. Think of them as software updates for your soul's operating system, but they can only be installed if your hardware, your energetic body, has been upgraded to the necessary specification. The trials of the last 3 months were that upgrade process. So, what are these codes? They are not intellectual knowledge, they are experiential frequencies. The first set is the Code of Sovereign Timeline Navigation. This code dissolves the feeling of being a passive passenger on a predetermined life path. It activates your inner compass to consciously feel the energetic texture of different potential futures and choose your movement not from fear or lack, but from resonance and creative desire. You will begin to experience life less as something that happens to you and more as a reality you are consciously orchestrating from a place of empowered neutrality. The second is the Code of Multidimensional Sensory Perception. Your physical senses are but one channel. This code gently opens your perception to the subtle energies that have always been there. The light grids around people and places, the emotional weather of a room, the whispered guidance of your higher self that speaks in feelings and knowings rather than words. It's not about seeing ghosts. It's about perceiving the living energy field in which all form is embedded. The third is the Code of Cellular Memory Recalibration. This is perhaps the most profound. It allows your physical cells to release stored trauma and limiting beliefs not through painful catharsis, but through gentle frequency overwriting. Old wounds begin to feel like memories of a movie you once saw, not personal history that defines you. The emotional charge dissipates, leaving only the wisdom. The Arcturians transmit that these codes are now streaming toward you. Your passing grade has opened the channel. You may feel them as waves of tingling energy, sudden moments of expansive peace, inexplicable joy, or vivid dreams filled with symbolic language. Do not try to mentally understand them. Simply allow them to integrate. Your only task is to say yes, to create space through meditation, time in nature, and conscious breathing to let the installation proceed. If this message resonated with you, hit the like button now and tell us in the comments how this echoed in your consciousness. The phase of being an unconscious examinee is over. You are now being promoted from student to conscious co-creator. This is the fundamental shift the Arcturians are announcing. Before, you were largely reacting to a reality presented to you. Now, you are being invited to participate in the generation of reality with far greater awareness and authority. What does this mean practically? It means the universe stops sending you disguised tests and starts responding to your clear commands. The metaphor the Arcturians use is that of a radio. For the last 3 months, you were listening to a station with a lot of static, the chaotic tests, tuning the dial slightly, proving you could find the signal amidst the noise. Now, you have been given the controls to broadcast. Your thoughts, your focused emotions, and your deeply held beliefs are no longer just internal experiences. They are transmission signals that shape the quantum field around you with increased potency. The law of attraction becomes less of a law and more of a natural, observable physics. You will notice faster manifestation, but more importantly, you will notice cleaner manifestation. Outcomes that align with your soul's purpose rather than your ego's fleeting wants. Your new role involves responsibility. With this increased creative power comes the need for impeccable energy hygiene. Gossip, judgment, fear-based thinking, and victim consciousness are not just bad vibes anymore. They are like broadcasting faulty blueprints into your construction zone. The Arcturians urge you to become the guardian of your inner dialogue. This is not about forced positivity, but about conscious choice. When a fearful thought arises, acknowledge it. Thank it for its attempt to protect you, and then consciously choose a thought that aligns with the reality you wish to create. This is active co-creation. Furthermore, you become a stabilizing node for the new energies on Gaia. As you integrate the light codes, your very presence begins to harmonize discordant energies in your environment. You may find conflicts resolving around you, or people feeling inexplicably calm in your presence. This is your activated light field at work. You are no longer just working on yourself. You are holding a frequency anchor for the collective awakening. Are these truths expanding your perspective? Share this video with someone who needs to hear this. The Arcturians provide crucial guidance for this immediate phase, the space between passing the exam and the full flowering of your new capacities. This can be a disorienting time. The intense pressure of the test has lifted, but the promised new reality hasn't fully materialized. It can feel like a spiritual anticlimax, a quiet, almost empty space. This is not a setback. It is a sacred pause. It is the moment the potter removes the finished vessel from the wheel to let it dry and set before firing it in the kiln. If you try to rush into major action now, you risk cracking the delicate new form that has just been shaped within you. The Arcturians advise that this is a time for deep rest and receptive observation. Your primary task is integration, not initiation. Sleep more. Spend time in nature without agenda. Engage in gentle, non-goal-oriented creativity. Pay exquisite attention to synchronicities, as they are now your navigation system, showing you the next gentle step. You may feel urges to completely overhaul your life. Quit your job, end relationships, move across the country. The Arcturians caution, these may be old patterns of doing, masquerading as inspiration. True guidance in this phase feels calm, clear, and sequential. It feels like a quiet knowing to have a certain conversation, to explore a new interest, to clean a specific closet. Trust the small, quiet nudges over the loud, dramatic impulses. This space between is also when your ego may launch a final counteroffensive, presenting you with doubts. Did anything really change? Maybe it was all in my head. Things look the same. This is the last gasp of the old operating system trying to reassert control. Recognize it for what it is. Anchor yourself in the subtle shifts you do feel. Perhaps a greater sense of inner peace amidst external chaos, a decreased reactivity to old triggers, a newfound curiosity about life. These are the true indicators of change. Be patient with this gestational period. The most profound transformations often happen in the silence, not the storm. You are not alone in this graduation. The Arcturian Council reveals that a critical mass of starseeds on Gaia has simultaneously passed this 3-month examination. This is not a coincidence. It is a coordinated ascension event. You are now part of an emerging, energetic tribe, not necessarily defined by physical proximity, but by a shared resonance. You will begin to recognize each other. The signs are subtle but profound. An instant feeling of familiarity and comfort with a stranger, a conversation that effortlessly goes deep, a mutual understanding that transcends words, a shared sense of humor about the absurdity of the 3D world. You may find these connections in unexpected places, online communities, chance encounters, or even within your existing circles as others awaken. The Arcturians emphasize the importance of seeking and nurturing these connections. You are individual antennas, but together you form a network, a grid of light that can hold and transmit higher frequencies more effectively for the entire planet. This tribe does not gather to complain about the old world or to escape into spiritual bypassing. Its purpose is to practice the new reality, to hold space for each other's authentic expression, to reflect truth without judgment, to collaborate on creative projects that carry the new frequency, and to simply be together in a field of mutual recognition that says, I see you, I remember you. We are here to do this. Your role within this tribe will organically reveal itself. You may be a healer, a visionary, a builder, a communicator, or a silent anchor. There is no hierarchy, only function. Support this network. Reach out. Share your experiences. You will find that your journey makes more sense when mirrored in the stories of others. The loneliness of the path of awakening is now being replaced by the solidarity of a crew that has passed the same storm and is now navigating toward the same new shore. The transmission concludes with a practical protocol, a way of being for this new chapter. The Arcturians do not give rigid rules, but foundational principles. First, daily frequency alignment. Begin each day not with checking news or emails, but with a few minutes of conscious breathing, setting the intention to be a clear vessel for the highest light. This is maintenance for your upgraded system. Second, conscious energy exchange. Be mindful of what you consume: food, media, conversations. Ask yourself, does this nourish my light or deplete it? You now have the discernment to feel the answer. Choose nourishment. Third, grounding through gratitude and service. Your expanded consciousness needs to be rooted in Gaia's body to be effective. Practice deep gratitude for the simple things: air, water, the functioning of your body. Engage in small acts of anonymous service. This keeps the energy flowing and prevents spiritual inflation. Fourth, trust the synchronicity engine. You have passed the test of trust. Now, live it. Make decisions based on resonant feelings and meaningful coincidences. The universe is now your conscious collaborator, not your mysterious examiner. Follow the breadcrumb trail of Tornar Minha Ie Favorita synchronicity. Fifth, embrace paradox. The new consciousness operates beyond binary thinking. You can be at peace while working for change. You can feel profound love while setting fierce boundaries. You can know your eternal nature while honoring your human experience. Hold these opposites without needing to resolve them. This is the mark of a multidimensional being. Sixth, regular energy recalibration. Your system is now more sensitive. Make time for practices that clear and balance your field. Meditation, time in nature, salt baths, energy work. This is not a luxury. It is essential maintenance for your light body. Seventh, anchor the new through creative expression. The most powerful way to solidify the new frequencies within you is to express them outwardly. Write, paint, dance, garden, cook, build. Let the new consciousness flow through you into form. This completes the circuit of creation and tells the universe you are ready for more. The Arcturians leave you with this final transmission. The test is over. The disguise has been lifted. You stand revealed to yourself, not as a struggling seeker, but as a sovereign creator who has proven their mettle in the fires of ordinary life. Do not look back at the last 3 months with regret or even with relief. Look at them with reverence. They were the sacred crucible that forged the version of you that is capable of holding the light that is now yours to wield. Go forward with the quiet confidence of one who has been given the keys. The universe is no longer your examiner. It is your co-creative partner. The journey ahead is not about survival, but about conscious, joyful, deliberate creation. You are ready. You have always been ready. You just needed to remember. If this message impacted your life, leave your like, comment your reflection, and share with others. Each of you is part of this chain of light.